So you got Spider-Man, the future Batman, and Cedric Diggory, because we don't refer to him as Edward Cullen on this channel. Poor man's John Connor, the Winter Soldier, Pennywise the Clown, and Riley Keough. I really don't... She hasn't been in anything franchise-related, so I have to call her Riley Keough. This movie has one of the best ensembles ever put on screen, so this should be great, right? Devil All the Time is out on Netflix now, and it stars an ensemble cast that includes Tom Holland, Bill Skarsgard, Robert Pattinson, Riley Keough, Mia Wasikowska, Eliza Scanlen, Sebastian Stan, Jason Clarke, and sinister characters converge around a young man named Arvin Russell, devoted to protecting those he loves in a post-war backwoods town teeming with corruption and brutality. This movie is written and directed by Antonio Campos and is produced by Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, The Devil All the Time, right from the beginning, you know is going to be one of the most unsettling movies you have ever seen. The way Campos creates and stages all of the tension, the atmosphere, and the mood is brilliant in this movie. Just right off the bat. The mood for this movie is going to be one of the most depressing things you have ever seen. You do not feel good watching this movie. You will not feel good after you have watched this movie. I literally felt defeated. I felt dead inside. I felt cold after watching this movie. That is the entire mood that this movie brings off to you. The atmosphere just adds a lot to that. Just knowing that around every corner there could just be one character in the movie that will erupt into a violent outrage. The tension built within those sequences is masterclass. There's not a single second in this movie where I didn't think something was going to happen. I really didn't think there was going to be a scene in this movie that went by without somebody getting shot or brutally mutilated. That just proves how well directed and crafted this movie was by Campos. Tom Holland, man, big step up from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The dude is going for the Oscar in this movie. So isn't Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson's not in the movie all that much, but man, he is so good. Anybody who has had reservations about Robert Pattinson as an actor and whether or not he's going to be a great Batman, just wait until the Batman comes out to make up your mind about whether or not he's actually good. But there's no denying the fact that he is a good actor. Just because he was in one bad series doesn't make him a bad actor. It was just a poor career choice. And even he hated it. Robert Pattinson, man, he is one of the best actors working today. Everybody in this movie is really good. Riley Keough is really good. Sebastian Stan is really good too. It was really interesting to see him play some type of force of evil, like this corrupt sheriff. Jason Clarke is probably the best I've ever seen him. When he played John Connor in Terminator Genisys, I thought that was kind of a miscast because he's really just the generic dude that you need to fill in a role. And I wouldn't put him in a big budget movie like that. It's kind of why I feel like he's out of place in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. But when he's in things like this, I think he's really good, and this is the best he's ever been. He is no longer poor man's John Connor. The Devil All the Time is definitely a movie that I never want to watch again. It is so grim and unsettling that, as I stated before, I felt defeated inside. And I was like, was this movie actually really worth my time? Which I think this movie is a solid movie. It's just what happens on the screen, especially in the beginning of the movie. There's a scene involving a dog that gutted me. And I seriously considered turning the movie off because I said to myself, if this is the way the rest of the movie is going, I am out. And yes, this movie is going to leave you defeated. It's going to leave you feeling cold and dark, and it's just going to open up your eyes to the fact that there are terrible people out in the world. I feel like casual people who watch a movie like this are just going to be like, who on earth would make a movie like that? Thing is that this is based on a novel, and I've heard what's in the novel is actually a lot worse than what happens on screen. So if I ever get my hands on that novel, I definitely know what I'm in for now. I will probably never read that book again, just like how I never want to watch this movie ever again. This is a one and done thing. It's not because the movie's bad, it's just because it's so unsettling and so grim, I never want to see anything like this after one watch. Just one and done. And if there is another thing that I didn't really like about the movie, it's the whole subplot involving Jason Clarke and Riley Keough. I just felt as if it felt like a completely different movie whenever they were on screen. It definitely added to the tension and the mood and the atmosphere, and it definitely added that external force of nature that Tom Holland's character is dealing with. But there's a point in the movie where they're introduced, but then a voiceover narration says that, oh, hey, this is who these people are, without no context of any of that beforehand. So if we had actually seen what they were doing beforehand, I think that I would have warmed up to that subplot a little bit more, but because it was just a voiceover narration and we were literally told what happened without being shown, I was kind of lost on that subplot, and I felt it didn't really add that much to the movie. Of course, it circles back around at the end, like a subplot should, it's just I felt it was out of place. So while the performances are good, it is a well-directed movie that creates a lot of mood, atmosphere, and tension. Almost every scene is nerve-jangling and nerve-wracking and unsettling. The Devil All the Time is definitely a movie I never want to watch again because it is so unsettling and grim and nerve-wracking. And that whole subplot with Riley Keough and Jason Clarke, I felt just didn't add that much to the movie. This is going to be a hard movie to give a popcorn rating to because I usually say with my popcorn ratings, it's like you will enjoy this movie, but I don't think anybody watching this movie is going to enjoy watching what they just watched. What they just witnessed is one of the most grim things you will ever see. So I will say, I think it'll be okay if you have 3/4 worth of a bucket of popcorn while you watch The Devil All the Time. That's my rating. I'm not going to say you're going to enjoy watching this movie with 3/4 worth of a bucket of popcorn, because I did not enjoy myself watching this movie. It is, whew, man, very bleak movie in that regard. So guys, what did you think of The Devil All the Time? It is out on Netflix now. Drop me some feedback in the comment section below. I will leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.